So guys, yeah, today is August 24, 2024, August 24th, 2024, 8/24, 2024. And once again, this is Shawn Dexter John. I do want you guys to understand this. This is what I want you guys to understand today on this particular topic that I'm going to address right now. I do have a second blog site now. It's called Shawn Dexter John 2.wordpress.com. Shawn Dexter John, numeric 2.wordpress.com, and it's supplemental. It's the secondary blog site to the primary blog site, ShawnDexterJohn.wordpress.com. And the content that which you are going to find on Shawn Dexter John 2.wordpress.com is essentially of the same sort of material, the same sort of content naturally, and it's in supplementation of the primary blog site, ShawnDexterJohn.wordpress.com. I own all of the material on there. Once again, I own all of the authored and published material on those blog sites because I authored them. I did not receive any directions. It was my is my particular project, and I mean the totality of the respective works was and is my particular project, personal project. It's professional, but it's certainly my personal project. So once again, all of the content that you do find on ShawnDexterJohn.wordpress.com and on ShawnDexterJohn2.wordpress.com, all of the authored and published material, they are certainly just my material. They are of my professional and personal project. No one directed or instructed me to write any of it, and no one guided my thoughts or my conduct in authoring and publishing any of it, including the presentation. So all WordPress.com, all WordPress, the company itself owns is the website itself, not the content of my publication. All right, I want you guys to understand that this is common sense, and this is certainly nominal law here in the United States. Once again, this is common sense, and this is nominal law here in the United States of America. WordPress owns its network and portal, but it does not own the published material, the published content of its users. So what I have published on ShawnDexterJohn.wordpress.com are all mine. I authored and published all of it on my own accord, and they were authored only by me without any sort of instruction or direction by any other person, and without me copying or replicating any content of any other person. Whatever I've placed on the website, which is, which just reflects, common knowledge, does not mean that it's, accountable to anyone else. And if I've used, and the WordPress, emblem or the logo or just, standard information provided on the website or the portal or the network itself, which are clearly not mine or not claimed by me, but what are clearly claimed by me, commonsensically, are claimed by me, and authentically and accurately. All right, guys. So that's what I want you guys to understand. You guys are not going to be able to argue against this. There's no point. I don't want you guys believing that I'm anticipating any sort of legal dispute. There's none, no such legal dispute of contestation will be taken up by any court or tribunal or arbitration forum whatsoever. We are pretty sure of it. The Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL are sure of it. So I want my contractors, those folks I'm going to contract with, to understand that there's no sort of pending legal matter that they do have to worry about. That's the only reason why I stated that. There's nothing on the way. There's nothing on the rise which is going to, contradict what I've provided, or which is going to deter my progress, my exponential progress, as you guys can see. But right now, I'm authoring, and I'm going to publish today a work paper, and it has to do on the management of my contract, or managing contracts, endorsed by the Central Intelligence Agency. Managing contracts or management contracts in general, endorsed by the Central Intelligence Agency and Interpol, and certainly what relates to what I am going to conduct as a professional manager of the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL. That's what hold on. Yeah, so essentially that's what's being addressed in this particular work paper I'm going to have published on script.com today, and my website, Shawn Dexter John, numeric2.wordpress.com, Shawn Dexter John 2.wordpress.com. You guys are not going to be able to contest this. I'm telling you guys. There's no sign of relief. There's no co-management contract. I'm not part of any management group that's going to manage any Central Intelligence Agency forum, directive, office, or anything. I am the chief manager of the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL. I am the chief manager, and my contract is exclusive. I manage all of the managers, and the managers do not collectively or separately manage me whatsoever. All my contracts, pending, active, or future. So guys, the introduction to my work paper, it provides the following. I just took a screenshot and I placed, but I took a screenshot of what I'm actually authoring right now with my other cell phone. So I'm going to look at it. It's a bit blurry, but I'm going to look at it and I'm going to read it out loud for you guys, so that you guys know that my video recordings, they correspond with my publication, my authorship. I'm not speaking about any other Shawn Dexter John. There's no other Shawn Dexter John, and I'm certainly not speaking of any cover or any decoy whatsoever when I'm speaking of my work and when I'm speaking of my contracts and things of that nature. So this is what it says, for the most part. Actually, this is honestly what it says. And I'm pretty sure that if I was to edit it any further or refine it, it's not going to, communicate anything else. I'm sure of it. But this is what it says. I, Shawn Dexter John, am in the process of gaining a $5 million United States dollar contract. Okay, so I'm going to have to say it this way. I, Shawn Dexter John, am in the process of gaining a $5 million contract to produce music with Universal Music Group and Warner Music Group, a partnership contract, which will be nominally incepted in November 2024 by me and on my behalf. The respective contract won't affect my current financial accounts, agency covered, and conventional accounts alike. I have no active or pending manager or supervisor, and I do not have any accountant or other professional that I do owe any money or resource to in any capacity. My saved 10 million United States dollars saved in a Scotiabank account not cancelable remains mine exclusively, and this money amount and corresponding financial banking account are unbreachable by any other person or any entity and are completely compatible with American economics and financial customs, including transaction customs. I'm pretty sure, yeah. All right, guys, so I'm going to touch it up, but essentially I can barely see what I'm reading. It's a screenshot, but I'm pretty sure that it's completely comprehensible, what I just articulated to you guys, but I'm going to have to read it again. It's a bit blurry, but it communicates what ought to be communicated, and you will know that this is the same sort of content, the same sort of addressed material and the issue itself when you do see the published video recording and you do look simultaneously or before or after the work paper I'm going to author and publish today. I'm going to finish authoring and I'm going to publish today. Okay, so once again, this corresponds what I'm reading, what I'm going to read to you guys again. That's going to be the introduction notes or the introductory note to the work paper that I'm going to have published today. I'm actually going to publish it myself. I'm going to author it today completely. I'm going to finish the authorship of it today completely. I'm the only author as usual, and I want you guys to know that it corresponds with a video recording I'm going to have published on YouTube today. So all of my work, all of my published works, they correspond with my video recordings, whether it's on the issue of audit or intellectual matters or political and legal matters, but they all correspond. They all offer the same sort of content. And yes, as a music producer as a professional hobby. It's not even necessarily a hobby, but it's certainly secondary to my work as managing, my work in managing the United States government and its partnerships. It's certainly secondary. It's how I got through college. It's how I saved up money to be able to get into a good college and to be able to keep working with the Central Intelligence Agency in Washington, D.C., and to be able to travel the whole country and to save enough money to get to the point of having $10 million right now in my savings account. So now I'm working on gaining a $5 million contract with Universal Music Group and with Warner Music Group. All right, so once again, I am working. I am in the final stage of negotiating and finalizing a contract with Universal Music Group and Warner Music Group for $5 million. So I will be able to make $5 million over the next decade or so in producing lead music, top charting music for Universal Music Group and Warner Music Group. I will be able to do so in hip-hop and popular music and from time to time in other genres like country and so forth. You know, that's going to be my secondary job, but I take it important. I take it as very important, you know. And we're going to get to the point of articulating, and speaking of the African American community, and endorse us to its development and its exponential, its exponential nurturing. We're going to invest in and endorse smart hip-hop. We're going to try to abolish, for the most part, gangsterism in the black community, in the African American community, and gangster hip-hop. Okay, so I'm going to have to articulate this to you guys again. I can speak very quickly. I have a lot of stuff to do today, but this just came to my mind. I'm going to have to slow down, and not slow down intellectually when it comes to my work, but right now in saying this to you guys. We are going to invest the African American community with protection from the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL in smart hip-hop. We are investing in abolishing gangsterism in the black community, meaning the African American community of American-born and immigrant African American blacks. And we're going to invest in smart hip-hop, and we are going to abolish gangsterism in the African American community and gangster hip-hop specifically. We're going to abolish gangster hip-hop over the next decade. It's going to take a while to completely abolish it toward forming world government, toward me serving as the first world president of the United Nations as world government in 2044. We want to be very, very articulate, very, very co-responsive with the rest of the world, and we want to purport ourselves, communicate ourselves as competently affluent in asking to lead the coalition, the global coalition, which is going to form naturally based on the directives of the INTERPOL and Central Intelligence Agency family. Okay, so I'm going to read this again. The introductory note to the work paper I'm going to finish authoring, and I'm going to publish online today. No one else is going to author it for me. I don't want you guys inferring that or interpreting that. I'm very annoyed when you guys try to do so. I'm not speaking of everyone, just a couple of folks who have been sending me emails, apparently saying that they just cannot handle an African American being able to lead the Central Intelligence Agency, no matter who I am, that people are just not comfortable with the image we have of African Americans or blacks in general, globally speaking. But anyway, I'm going to have to read this for you guys. I'm going to take my time a bit more. We'll see. It's sort of blurry on my second cell phone, as you can see. But anyway, I'm still going to have to. To read it out loud for you guys, and to just read it out for you guys so that you guys can see that it's the same material. I just have to say this over and over and over again. There's no other reason for me doing this. Okay, don't send any sort of fishy email to me or any sort of fishy chat line, message to me at all. I don't have time to sit there and argue over semantics or silly stuff. I have a lot of work to do. But anyway. I, Shawn Dexter John, am in the process of gaining a $5 million contract to produce music with Universal Music Group and Warner Music Group, our partnership contract, which will be nominally incepted in November 2024 by me and on my behalf. The respective contract will affect my current financial accounts, agency covered, and conventional accounts alike. I have no active or pending manager or supervisor, and I do not have any accountant or other professional that I do owe any money or resource to in any capacity. My saved 10 million United States dollar account and balance saved in a Scotiabank account, which is non-cancelable, remains mine exclusively, and this money and balance and corresponding financial banking account are unbreachable by any other person or entity and are completely compatible with American economics and financial customs, including transaction, blah, 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 blah. All right, guys, so I just read it out loud for you guys again, and this time around I did add a few words here and there, and not necessarily in the draft itself, but just in freestyling, but it's going to remain of the same content. But I want you guys to understand this. This is not a joke at all. What you guys saw in the Constitutive Charter, after the shocking intelligence, I guess that's what it was told, the shocking intelligence of the preamble of my Constitutive Charter of the Union of Eastern Caribbean States, what you do see is very shocking and very impressive and acute information on the directives and the purposes and the fundamental nature of integration as governance, or integration in governance form, but you can see in the first paragraph or two after the preamble, with respect to the explanation of the General Assembly, you can see that it's a bit more simple. I don't want you guys to read that particular part and just end on that note. The rest of the legal article regarding Americana, the new society's concepts and political apperceptions of an Eastern Caribbean model of commonality, the entirety of the legal article is shocking. I made sure that it would be completely shocking. I did not waste my time whatsoever. I'm not going to waste my time on anything that I do professionally. It is quite shocking. It is quite beyond human comprehension. It is the best constitutional document we have ever seen. I am pretty sure of it, and you guys are going to accept it. It's not one part of it is subpar. What I tried doing. Anyway, hold on. The legal article, the Constitutive Charter of the Union of Eastern Caribbean States, it honestly is suppositional, it's hypothetical, it's propositional, it's proposed to the Eastern Caribbean states. They're gonna take it up and they're gonna incrementally implement it within the sub-regional governance, which has been, founded already regarding the OECS, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. Eventually, the Eastern Caribbean states, though they will remain independent and sovereign, each member state, they will be able to consider themselves Eastern Caribbean states as a political community within the Caribbean community itself, without defrauding the independence and sovereign nature of each and every one of the member states of that particular sub-regional group, and the entirety of the Caribbean community itself, and the entirety of the encompassing Union of the Americas, which is going to be created in 2049, the UA. All right? I want you guys to understand that this is what I'm saying to you guys. The first paragraph or two that you do see in the Constitutive Charter within the legal article that I did publish with Lulu Bookstore, Lulu.com, or Lulu in general, which will be globally distributed all over the internet, all over the world, within another 2 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks or so, it's very straight to the point, and it's very simple in a statement. But the rest of the legal article, the legal article is quite shocking. I am pretty sure and based on the assessment of nemesis and colleagues alike, and friendly colleagues alike, it is the most impressive constitutional or constitutive document that they have ever seen. Once again, based on the perspective and based on the understandings and based on the assessments of nemesis, and friendly colleague alike, my legal article and the constitutive charter within, constitute, the most impressive constitutional document ever. Once again, this is what I want you guys to understand. You guys are not going to ask me to say it in any other way. I'm gonna communicate this to you guys without any sort of misunderstanding possible. Oh my God, this motherfucker. Yeah. So once again, the Constitutive Charter of the Union of Eastern Caribbean States. I'm a bit hoarse right now, but I'm still clearly, clearly straight to the point and clearly comprehensible and clearly articulate still at this particular moment. But I want you guys to understand this. I am sure of this, and my colleagues are certainly sure of this. The Constitutive Charter of the Union of Eastern Caribbean States, which was solely written by me, meaning only and exclusively and exclusionarily written by me, authored by me and only me, no one else. And I don't want you guys saying Melvin Otey or some Hollywood cast, or attempting to make a movie in the Caribbean about political diaspora. No. That was just authored by me. All of my work have been authored. All of my works have been authored exclusively, meaning only by me, no one else. Please don't ask to place a word in there or remove a word or any of that. I don't want any sort of contestation because it would be wrong, it would be erroneous, it would be fraudulent, and it would be unlawful and unconstitutional to do so. I want you guys to understand this. The Constitutive Charter of the Union of Eastern Caribbean States is the most impressive constitutional document that you guys have ever seen and that you guys will ever see. It's stronger than the British's, the British government's constitutional documents. It's stronger than our American Constitution. It really is. It's stronger than the state documents themselves. And hold on. Yeah, so it's stronger than the United States Constitution. It's stronger than the British constitutional framework or the government's documents, regarding constitutional government and constitutional rights of the citizens and other subjects of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. It's stronger than the Australian Constitution, naturally. It's stronger than the United Nations foundational documents, naturally. Even though the United Nations is very comprehensive at this point, it's still very evolutionary, it's still very is getting to the next point. It's still semi-governmental, so that's understood. I'm going to write the World Constitution, and I'm going to be very serious about doing so. But I want you guys to know how competent and how prudent and how cautious and considerate I have been. I did all of this without any hoopla, without any support, without any fanfare, and without anyone seeing any wealth coming out of my work. I saved all of my money. I was very humble. I remained as a field auditor over the past 15 years while doing a lot of music and making a lot of money without anyone knowing, while doing this during the day for the most part, my primary job, running and managing the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States and INTERPOL. So I'm not doing this for any sort of praise. I want you guys to know that I'm very serious about what I do. Once again, the Constitutive Charter is the greatest constitutional document that you guys will ever come across, whether you guys are studious, disciplined, or just laymen. Whether you guys are researchers or just folks who like browsing the internet, or folks who like walking into the library and just looking stuff up, or whether you guys are attorneys or other jurists alike, or I mean, attorney, whether you guys are attorneys or otherwise. All right, guys. So anyway, I'm gonna have to read this again. It's so blurry, but I should be able to get through it. I, Shawn Dexter John, am in the process of gaining a $5 million contract to produce music with Universal Music Group and Warner Music Group, a partnership contract which will be nominally incepted in November 2024 by me and on my behalf. The respective contract won't affect my current financial accounts, agency covered, and conventional accounts alike. I have no active or pending manager or supervisor, and I do not have any accountant or other professional that I do owe any money or resource to in any capacity. My saved $10 million United States dollars saved in a Scotiabank account, not cancelable, remains mine exclusively, and this money amount and corresponding financial banking account are unbreachable by any other person or entity and are completely compatible with American economics and financial customs, including transaction mechanisms. I'm pretty sure that, I'm pretty sure I have mechanisms in there. It's sort of blurry and the image was cut short. But essentially, that's what it says, for the most part. And if I do decide to refine it or alter it in any sort of way, it's not going to communicate anything else. I honestly do have approximately $10 million in my Scotiabank account, and it is a foreign bank, by origination or by origins, but it's certainly functional here in the United States of America. All of my accounts are recognizable by the United States government as compatible with American economics and financial activity and transaction mechanisms. So I want you guys to understand this. I will easily be able to transfer any amount of this money into a traditional American account, whether bank account or some sort of peculiar financial account, which is certainly going to be lawful as recognized by the United States government and as generally understood by the financial and economic industries here in the United States. I don't want you guys thinking anything crazy. I'm not part of any fraudulent or some sort of experimental community when it comes to finances or when it comes to my accounts.
It's possible to calculate the mass of a celestial object, but only if you know its distance.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to shave right away. It's still early in the morning. I'm gonna have to shave right away. But anyway.